Did you see that? Let's watch that one more time. This is what we're gonna talk about today. Ideally, I would have gotten this video out during spooky month, but, hyperfixation brain rot happened, nom nom vampire stuff, and suddenly it's November. But continuing on, let me give you some backstory into why I have this particular recording on a security camera in the first place. It all starts with my 2 cats, specifically this goober named Grim. You see, Grim is a total gremlin who's constantly active, always wants to play, will literally go after shadows with as much fervor as if it were a laser pointer, and is extremely food motivated. So food motivated, in fact, that when I first moved into this apartment, I noticed that someone, somehow, managed to raid the drawer with all the cat treats in it and bite holes into the plastic bags. Now, I already know who the culprit is. It's Grim. He ticks all the boxes of being rambunctious and a literal stubborn, unmovable force. His younger brother, Sandals, is not very food motivated because he has dainty little teeth and is a picky eater. Also, quick aside, if you're curious why my cats are named Grim and Sandals, it's because I named them after my favorite Grand Blue fantasy characters. Grim is based on Grimnir, a silly chuny whose voice actor I am 100% not obsessed with, for real. And Sandalphone because Gay Coffee Angel is cute and is what got me to play the game in the first place. Personally, I think my cats resemble their namesakes pretty well. Grim's zooming and bouncing off the walls, literally parkouring, and he's so clingy but not in the lab cat way, but more of the wherever mom goes, I'll get up and follow after her and bother her way. Sandals, on the other hand, is gay. Very gay. Will literally make a beeline to cuddle with Grim if he sees him on the bed. Anyway, back to the main story. What I didn't know is how the hell was Grim opening a drawer that doesn't have an easy way to open it for 2 fuzzy little cat paws when this dumbass can't even figure out how to get out of a bathroom door.
Grimmy. Grim, open the door. No, what are you doing? Stop. Oh my God, Grimmy.
Well, I just so happened to have a little security camera on hand, one that I picked up from my previous apartment because weird stuff was happening in the backyard, to which we'll discuss some strange sightings there, too, later in this video. But anyway, I set it up facing the kitchen and just let it run for a few nights, trying to catch Grim in the act. And would you look at that? I caught the suspected criminal feasting on some treats from the drawer. The camera didn't seem to capture him actually opening it, but I presume he just stood on it and pulled or wedged his little claws or face in the cracks to try pry it open. He's hard-headed like that, for real. I also saw him raiding the upper cabinets and overall just making a mess and a racket, literally. During those days, I also caught this. And my first thought? Holy shit, is that a ghost orb? Like in Phasmophobia? It also seems particularly weird that whatever this is goes straight up from my roommate's shoes and then pew goes off to the left. It baffled my mind. Now, I will have to admit, I am superstitious and I do feel like I've had some minor paranormal encounters growing up. There's been some unexplained experiences, like when I was 6 filling out a postcard about a panda, I was trying to list some facts on there. I forgot what pandas ate and asked, "What do pandas eat?" aloud. And then I heard an older female voice say, "Bamboos." And I was like, what, a child? So I was like, oh yeah, bamboos, and wrote it down. But then I realized I didn't know who told me that. I looked around and no one was near me, and my sisters weren't anywhere close to me. So I remember asking my mom since she was washing the dishes in the nearby kitchen, and she was really confused. Also, not to mention my mom has a really heavy Chinese accent, and whoever whispered in my ear definitely sounded very American. There's also some other situations like those radio digital alarm clocks that would constantly go off out of nowhere for no particular reason at random times when no one was in the room, or even while we were sleeping in, turning on the radio noise and causing me to panic because I'd heard sudden static and garbling noises and it always was scary as heck. I remember my sister saying that she had a friend who could like sense the paranormal, and she said there was like a neutral spirit in our house. And like I say this because one day I got back from after school and then it set off one of the radios again in my room. And like I panicked trying to figure out how to get this thing to shut off and noticing that it had no batteries installed. So I called out in frustration, "If there's something there, please stop doing that." And well, it never did it again afterward. Now, at the time we did have a family cat named Ebony, who's like a cute little black cat that was indoor-outdoor all the time because she really liked being territorial. But she was really good about avoiding furniture, and she was really good about like just keeping a good balance, so I kinda don't think it was her. But anyway, there's more stories, but those two kind of convinced me that I'm pretty sure ghosts are real for real. But anyway, back to this peculiar ghost orb. I posted this on Twitter and it was a hit tweet for me back then, and it definitely went outside my sphere. Some people were superstitious like me, which was pretty cool, and others told me it's just dust, because dust does this all the time. And sure, I've looked up before, is this a ghost orb or is it dust? Because I do agree, dust indeed does make these strange particles show up on infrared night vision cameras, but I honestly cannot seem to make heads or tails of why it would leave a streak and then move to the left suddenly. Someone can argue that maybe it's just two dust particles going in different ways coincidentally, but like, man, I don't know. This shit's whack. It seems too coincidental to me, you know, Occam's razor and all that. But what is probably definitely dust is this video from a different angle, trying to capture more sightings of possible strange ghost orbs in the living room, where you have this clip of my cat just sitting in front of the camera and scratching himself, releasing a bunch of these particles in the air shortly after. Or, you know, I could just say he's just actually summoning spirits from beyond the realm for real, so cats are maybe haunted. But this is most likely just actually dust, cat dander, or cat fur to be more specific. Whereas this other video, the first video, just don't seem to be quite the same in my opinion. And while I don't think anyone's died in this apartment, it has been renovated, and I did bring the ashes of my third cat, Nacho, who passed away suddenly the year prior to moving into this apartment. And he did really like my roommate's shoes, these same shoes in particular, often rubbing himself onto it. So a part of me wants to think that maybe, just maybe, it's Nacho, being a playful spirit even in the afterlife. Considering my cats don't seem to be perturbed by anything and are not scared walking around or while they're zooming, I assume that if this is a spirit, it's nothing to be concerned about. They're so unconcerned they'll gladly even mount one another in front of the camera. Also, in case you didn't know, both my cats are male and neutered, and they aren't siblings. So yeah, okay. Silly gay cats. This also isn't the first time this camera in particular has picked up some strange stuff. In my last apartment, when it was looking out into the backyard, which, okay, I do admit it looks like it's from some abandoned house or something. I know, don't worry about it. It's caught some really strange stuff in the night, including this flickering of light below the tree across this fence, which is where an elementary school playground is, and this weird ghostly flickering in this corner that almost always happens at the same time almost every day. It's weird. Honestly, I haven't figured out what caused either of these because, first of all, as far as I know, there's no light below that tree in the elementary school playground. Most times it's not lit at all and is pretty pitch black, and this happened so spontaneously for so brief that it just boggles my mind. The sky also lit up a bit at a time too, but I don't recall anything happening that night to cause that. No thunder, no lightning, no storming as far as I know, so like, huh? As for this ghostly flicker down here, yo, hell if I know. If you know anything, please tell me in the comments. This flicker in the corner definitely scares me. You see, in the reflection of this window is a reflection of the living room in which I was sleeping in at the time. But as far as I know, there are no lights that turned on to strobe light me while I was sleeping that would cause this to flicker into the reflection. The lights are usually off, and my computer was a laptop at the time, and I would always make sure to shut off the screen because sometimes it would turn on by itself because, you know, my cat's stepping on the keyboard or something, and then voila, it lights up, and it always bothered me. But, yeah, so it's not my laptop, and it's not my lights. And the camera itself is actually totally fine and hasn't had this effect ever since I have moved. At the end of the day, I think having a security camera is both fascinating and deeply frightening. It's fascinating at times because you really get to see some interesting stuff that you wouldn't have seen without one. But at times, it sometimes leads to weird stuff that to a superstitious person can seem kind of scary and unexplainable. For a while, after my ghost orb sighting and this weird flickering and weird backyard events, I was definitely scared for a time. But ultimately, nothing has happened beyond these recordings, and me and my cats are totally safe. I just thought it was a neat story to share with y'all, just yap about it, and also a way to gush about my cats at the same time. I would say happy Halloween, but, well, the time's long since passed, so, happy autumn, I guess. Before I end today's video, here's the scariest thing that I've caught on this camera. Simply my cat Sandals staring into the camera. Like he's peering into your soul. For an uncomfortably long amount of time. Silly. Anyway, that's it for me yapping about my paranormal recordings and my cats. I hope you enjoyed. This is definitely out of my normal video scope, but I also wanted to do something more lighthearted and silly for once, even if I still find some things that I recorded in this video to be just a teeny bit spooky. This has been Saf, and I hope you all keep it vibing. Till next time, bye! Psst. Hey, you stayed for the post-credits. As a bonus, here, have a video I edited last year where my cat Grim chases me around on camera. Look at how happy he is. So cute. His tail is up and he's so excited. Okay, bye!